commentators are saying we're going to see that rotation back down to the low that Jay was talking about, possibly. $61.50. We got to get through weekly kickoff low first, 63.40. But if we can't close this gap, we're looking for opportunities for shorts. Jay,
Yeah,
thoughts?
I'm with you, Hogue. I'm with you. I'm looking at just we're already 2% down, so I'm asking how much room is there left in the move. But crude also has the potential for some pretty big moves, percentage-wise. So, yeah, just looking for some continuation. We are sitting, Hogue, on the 30-minute. We're sitting right at that 200 moving average, 64.49, and that kind of, for me, if we don't get the short today. I'm looking at that as if we don't get any volume above that 200 moving average tomorrow for the rest of the week, that is a great spot to start to limit, to assume some risk, maybe to the short side. Again, anything we say here is for educational purposes only and not any financial advice. And I don't know how much you want to take my crude oil advice because I was wrong all last week, but hey, it's another week. It's a new week. A lot of time for us to get it right. We have 3 minutes before this 5-minute opening range trade triggers here. We've seen that tilt as high as 78%. Crude oil is back down to 67% right now. 61% long in gold. House account is short. Still a couple micros in gold from 38.4830. Last trade over there, 38.4450. Last trade in crude oil, 64.42, and I believe the 1 minute did trigger. No, it didn't. No short trigger yet.
Hey, you weren't wrong. You just didn't time it right.
Just early, Hogue. Just early.
Just early. Just early.
We have a 16-tick opening range right now in crude oil. Get another 2 minutes before there's triggers in trade. I have a low JD right now of 35. 64.35 is the low on the 1 minute. Might see it extend. And the high of 64.51. You seen the same thing, Hogue?
Topstep segment. Guess what's back today, guys? We're bringing back the shoulder tap again. Jack and Aaron are going to be here. They're going to roast and toast a couple of traders from Topstep, right from our program. Aaron's going to pick out a trader, and we'll talk the trade report right here, live on Topstep TV. Group coaching, 12:15 p.m. Oog, and me. We're going to pin a form. Yes, we'll pin a form to the top of the chat. A little bit of a tongue twister there for me. If you have any questions. for
Crude selling off. House account is short 5 micro crude. And Dow trading 46,727. Let's get into it. Jaron, happy Monday. Thoughts coming into this big jobs week?
Man, we moved up 200 points in the overnight, so I'm not going to be looking for shorts unless we just see some kind of crazy selling coming in. I could potentially look to flip, but gold and Nasdaq both just absolutely ripped in the overnight, so I'm going to look to continue that. The only thing that is significant to me right now is we are consolidating, or we came up to these highs from last Wednesday, I think, and rejected from it. Maybe we see a quick pullback to VWAP, a fib level, but I'm overall bullish going into the day.
Right. Well, overall bullish. I like it. Take a look at gold here again. Trade 38.50, about $10 off those all-time highs. About 2 minutes coming into this open. Dakota. All football games aside, your thoughts coming into this?
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's not gonna last long. Okay.
You got a bye week, so we get to enjoy it for another week. But yeah, what's thoughts coming in this money? Well, pre-bell selling here. In the
Jared's at best, right? We've rallied so much overnight. We did run into a nice level of resistance right here at these 900s. I mean, buy the dip, right? Hogan and the team just buy the dip. It looks the scariest at the bottom, and yet we just continue to find these markets just rallying. I'd like to see a pullback, but the question is where. I would love to see this market come down towards maybe upper 700, 780s, 790s, maybe an opportunity there. Will we get there? I don't know. It's just patience. Patience going into Monday to start the week. Not looking to jump into anything too quick.
I like that. Smart wise. Again, those house account positions short 2 micro gold from 38.40, 830. And house account short 5 micro crude from 64.32. Micro crude's looking pretty good. We got about 60 seconds till the bell rings. We are seeing some selling before that New York session does begin. Jack, thoughts on the ES? What are you seeing over there in the option that we can use to play in the futures?
Well, it's Monday. Casino's about to open. I gotta see what kind of call buying goes on off the bell there. The May line is still intact. How long will this go? It's pretty incredible at this point. This is the ES going back to May is where that line begins, and we have not liked to be below it. How are you not bullish right now? We'll see what happens on the open, and then I'll give you some options levels.
Excellent. Sounds good. Sounds good. We got 10 seconds till this opening bell in the New York session. Everyone get locked in. Big week coming in. Jobs is the focus all week. We'll talk a little about that a little more here as the bell rings. Take a look at the ladder. Nothing really jumping off for now. Did see a 70% short tilt in the Nasdaq, and we are open here on Topstep TV. Crush it this week. It's got a little selling coming into the bell. In the Nasdaq, bottom out of 24,843. They're trying to pop in a little bit here. Nothing really doing just yet. Jared, did you have any levels you had your eye on? I know CLC is kind of your approach to taking a trade. One more time, CLC stands for?
It is context, location, and confirmation.
Location and confirmation. All right, I'm going to be holding you to that throughout, but that's how Jared takes his trades. Look at that pull pop here in the Nasdaq Dow. Continue to sell off in this open little pop in Nasdaq up to about 4,870. We're about 10 points beneath there. We did have all-time highs in our sights in the ES. We got about 20 points of it, 67.56. See if we can make a run for that at some point today. Gold again making all-time highs overnight at 38.60. Beast in TFD indeed. We've got jobs. Take a look at the schedule for the day. We got pending home sales at the top of the hour. We got the president signing some executive orders 15 minutes after that. President meeting Benjamin Netanyahu at 10 a.m. Central. Whole slew of Fed speakers starting at 12:30 p.m. Central. There will be a press conference between Netanyahu and the president at 12:15 Central. We'll keep you posted on that and any headlines that hit the wire. You know you can find it here on Topstep TV. Nice turnaround there in the Nasdaq. Nasdaq back up 24,870. Dakota, you're looking for perhaps a pullback to the 780s. See if we can. First couple minutes play out here, Dakota. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm watching everything else. I'm watching the Mag. What do we call it? Did we come with the Gray 8 or the Mag 7? Nvidia is just
Hateful 8.
popping. The Hateful 8. Okay. Big notable one is Intel's down 4%. It was down 4%. So that's an interesting one. Nvidia's
Not loud.
bouncing, but it's a little mixed.
Well, we got the
Go ahead,
The SPX right now is trading just around 6670, 6700, pretty much on the dot, would be the all-time high level where we bounced last time or rejected. So 30 points above here bring us to 6755 or something like that in the ES. That's what everyone's got their eyes on.
I mean, Nvidia is approaching all-time highs too, Jack. All-time highs here in Nvidia is pretty dang close. We're at 182. All-time high is like 185 and some change.
Yeah, it's right there.
Love it.
Gotta invest some more in OpenAI.
And
Get them over the edge.
Buyers in the NASDAQ. Turn this thing right back around 24,880. About 50, I'm gonna call 40 points of that sell-off coming in. The bell rang. A buyer stepped in the NASDAQ. Yes, not so convinced just yet. NASDAQ turned this whole thing around. Dow staying heavy. Gold pushing higher and crude selling off. Crude trading $63.94. Doesn't count short, about 40 cents in the money there. See if there's more strength in this push higher in the NASDAQ.
I mean, as soon as the bell opened, we haven't seen prices lower than the opening bell. We've just been straight up.
Sure,
Hope.
Yeah, I'm sure Hope's took note of that. Anything on the ladder? Nothing big just yet. Nope. Yes, NASDAQ, nothing big just yet. Jared, do you have your eye on any prices, perhaps? If we do get a pullback or a pop to sell into, what prices are you keying in on NASDAQ? So we trade 24,876, Jared.
Yeah, so I have to agree with Dakota. Looking at some recent consolidation, significant lows and highs, anywhere from the 770s up to the 790s. I think we could find buyers if it pulled back. And then the first notable level would be VWAP, which is right at 843, 842. We did get pretty close to it before the bell opened and then buyers stepped in, but maybe that wasn't the pullback that we're going to get. Maybe we find a little bit deeper one, which could happen if we reject out of these highs again, which we've done before the bell opened. And so we'll see if buyers fail up here and sellers want to step back in. But yeah, I'll be looking to play long. So wherever we get the deepest pullback and then can find buyers, that's when I'll get in.
If we get a pullback, that's another big if too, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, sorry. So everyone's got Jared and Dakota both have their eyes on 24,777.90. We're about 100 points higher from that, but we'll keep an eye on that. See if we do get that pullback into there. ES just can't find the gas to push this thing higher just yet. Trading 67.22. Right around overnight VWAP. Still 50-50 for now. Dow staying heavy. Dow trading right around the lows. 46,590 last trade. Try to sell into a couple pops here in the NASDAQ. I'm trying to find some more juice to the upside. 24,880 last trade. ES heavier. ES pushing low. All right, there we go. ES did find some sell orders that just hit the bid there and continue to push lower here in the ES.
We got contrarian Apple, by the way. All the Elite 8 or whatever we call it is up. Apple down 0.8% right now, as it is wont to do.
Yes. Yep. Apple, Intel, and Netflix are the two red ones on my radar, Jack.
Well, Netflix is interesting because it's hard to keep up with these things, but I guess we're putting tariffs on movies that aren't made in the United States.
I've seen that.
Hollywood was in the crosshairs.
That's crazy.
I remember Hollywood was in the crosshairs. We got a little more sun coming here in the ES. 2 points off those overnight highs, trading 67.19, still 50-50 on the tilt. And ES looks like there's going to be some more sell pressure here. We'll see if the buyers want to step in and hold it for now. We're going to floor right around, 67.19, back up to the 20s. Anything else? Anything else from the week? Well, I'm sure Jack will talk about that, some nuggets and tidbits here in a little bit. right now, markets are kind of just trying to feel their way out into this first 6 minutes to the open here. Pinned to the top of the chat. We got Top Step Daily Levels. Click on that link. Those are updated and refreshed before every New York Open. Make sure we'll be talking about those levels throughout the day, throughout the weeks, throughout the years. But yes, pin at the top of the chat. Those Top Step Daily Levels are refreshed and updated before every New York Open. You don't have the real estate in the screen, you just want to look completely at your charts here on Top Step X and have those levels. Click on that indicators tab. Top Step X there. Type in Top Step Daily Levels. Have those levels slapped overlaid right there on your charts. Again, those are updated and refreshed for every New York Open here.
So yeah, here we go with the NASDAQ. Yeah, NASDAQ's pushing. NVIDIA's continuing to push towards its all-time highs as well. So I think for me the question is, will NASDAQ break above these 900s right now? Because if we do, I mean, this thing could continue to pick up steam as well.
Yeah, just like we saw last Monday. I mean, once we broke those highs, it took off.
Yeah.
Andre, the only one who believed too. He said, "Are we gonna hit all-time highs?" And we doubted him.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He is selling off a little bit. Wow.
Yeah.
Those highs.
Again, all-time highs in the NASDAQ, 25,027. 027. That's when we go there. We'll see if we get those 25,000s even. It's still wild. Gold on the bull. Gold closing again those all-time highs, $6 away. It's turned
This might
around.
be a case where you buy these 10 to 15 point pullbacks.
Okay.
In the NASDAQ. Very well. I mean, what do we have on the docket for the day? Just not really much, right? A lot of Fed speakers. And you went over them. Nothing too crazy until we start getting the data out. Basically, tomorrow, right? We have we started out the jobs. We have JOLTS. We have what's coming on Friday, right? We know what's coming on Friday. We have non-farm Friday. So maybe we do see kind of just a zombie rally or a holding pattern up here today. So I wouldn't be too
telling in the ES. I mean, we kind of saw the zombie pattern last night. That's the only thing that concerned me is it was just like a straight. If you look at the ES chart, just a straight melt up, very complacent overnight. Maybe see if we can shake out some of the weak hand buyers, night buyers.
Yeah, that was a tough one. It's tough to be a short, right, in that type of a market where we just kind of grind up and to the right all night.
Oftentimes, Dakota, you'll see those shorts in those come zombie rallies, kind of where the market just drifts higher. Because that natural bid in the equities, yes, those shorts can indeed fuel the rally higher, right? When it's short, the only way you're going to get out is by buying stops are hit, manual puking or manual stops, and they will buy it and push the market higher. So we'll see if that does play out. But like Jack said, we're seeing some heaviness in the ES. New 5-minute candle just started, and new session lows.
What got into gold? Gold? Can we hit all-time highs in gold here?
$5 away.
Yeah.
Assets are hot. Hard assets.
71% short in the ES right now on the tilt, as the ES trades right around these session lows. Everyone's got through NASDAQ, ES, and YM all have their own personalities going right now. NASDAQ's trying to stay bid, ES hanging around the lows, kind of down taking them, and Dow just pushing lower into those lows. So we'll let that shake out and see if there is any leader laggards between those three. Right now, gold seems to be the one having a little bit of a cleaner move up and to the right.
Once again, the difference between the ES and the NQ is just the weighting of some of these stocks, right? If NVIDIA is up 2.4%, it's 14% of the NQ. Who else is raging today? Tesla up 1.7, Broadcom up 1.7.
Broadcom's up there. Your latest addition to the Hateful Eight.
To the party, they got the invite to the party. All right, NASDAQ. Gonna give it a shot up to these 24,900s, about 15 points to go there in the NASDAQ. 24,885. 885. Dow staying heavy. It's like the ES. Dow selling off. ES chopping around the lows. NASDAQ trying to stay bid. Jack said different weighting amongst those three, but keep selling into these bids here, Jack, in the ES. New slash session lows, 67.16. 67.16 quarter. Those put there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in this. It's very, very choppy this morning.
Not yet. There we go. More lows. Like they're hitting into these bids, Jack, in the ES. Just watching the chart. We're watching the ladder. We got that 200 lap down there, 67.15. About 2 points away from that. All right. See if the market can get a little footing here. Gold. Look at NASDAQ. Just keeps turning around. Gold on the march to all-time highs. $4 to go there. Upper left-hand corner of the screen, you see that hashtag. Hashtag fast market. Hashtag power hour. Hit us up at Topstep TV on the X. Submit some cool trader wins. Some funded hats. Some cool trader station setups. And hashtag power hour. Hashtag fast markets at Topstep TV on the X.
Yeah. Nvidia pushing too. Nothing's holding that market back. This is one of those. This is. Let's say that again, Jack.
Any news on Nvidia?
Not that I see. Not that I could see. Anyway.
Oh my god.
This is one of those markets where we open up high here in the Nasdaq, and we don't get a deep enough pullback to enter, and so we might be in a situation where, man, we're too high to buy, and we didn't get a pullback to sell. But now we're pushing. Here's a pattern I'm starting to see right in the 5 minute here in the Nasdaq. So I'm curious if this for trading on me. This what the heck is it called?
Megaphone.
Megaphone. Yeah, that's a broad word here, Jack.
What's a megaphone?
Megaphone.
What's a megaphone?
It's where we have.
There you
Yeah,
go.
right there. We have higher highs and lower lows, so very indecisive. Very indecisive here, and we might be seeing that if we can't break out and pick a direction. It's one of the tougher markets for me as a technical trader to trade.
When you have the megaphone, you just play breakout, like a break and retest. Is that the best way to play it, or?
When I see a megaphone, I play. Let's go get some lunch. Just call it early lunch. Yeah. Or you switch to a range bound strategy where if we do bounce up, you look for a reversal. But it's so hard to play that because this market, especially the Nasdaq anyway, is so volatile. We could break out, whipsaw, up 20, 30 points, and then you don't want to go against the momentum of this market.
Yeah, the tricky part of those megaphones is range, yes, but the ranges keep getting wider, right? The highs get higher, the lows get lower. NASDAQ did just tap on some new session highs, 24,917. We make a run for those 25,000 evens, then we'll see if we can go make a run for the all-time highs. ES did find some buyers stepping in. Bounced off the lows at 67.15, popped about 7 points higher. Right now, it's overnight VWAP in the ES trading 67.23.
Look at it go.
NASDAQ.
It's going up.
NASDAQ's strong.
Yeah.
Well, looking over at the bonds.
Yeah, what do you got,
First
Jack?
look at it. Same chart we do every week. Got our Powell rate cut announcement. We got the level was at before it. We're still chopping around above that in the yields, although we did kind of drift back into the first range since then. These are hour candles right now. Projecting it a little bit, but not at a super interesting level, I would say. We got to pop above 4.2. Things get a little bit spicier.
Yeah, micro Bitcoin also shot out of a can. Bitcoin since that New York bell rang. Trading, we are up a cool $1,200. $1,200 in micro Bitcoin trading 114,000. 045, we'll call it.
This market is picking up. We're picking up steam. Netflix just flipped. We were close to 1%. Now we're pushing to green, and Apple's catching a bit as well. So lots of buyers stepping in here.
Yes, they are. Here goes. All right, yeah, here goes the Nasdaq. 24,935. 935. About 100 points from that New York bell session opening there. New highs 24,936. 70% long now in the tilt in Nasdaq. The number at the top of the hour.
VIX spiked up to 4% too.
VIX did. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, it's trading under 16, so I just quoted in the actual numbers because the percents are going to seem large on any move. A little finicky instrument like that. It's low.
Yeah. As long as it's under what? What do you have? 20?
As long as it's under 20, I mean, things get really exciting when it's above 30, but yeah, 4% move isn't much in VIX. But we do see the dynamic right now of VIX, has been increasing when we've been kind of near the highs or pushing highs. In other words, just you can look at VIX as the demand for protection. We also, when I get into my news and tidbits later, I have a little bit about what this might be.
Interesting. Good stuff, Jack. Yes, absolutely. Let's see, off of Dow. Quick calling the Dow. The NASDAQ pushing higher here, 24,944. Strong right now. ES looks like it wants to follow about 10 points off the lows just put in a couple minutes ago. ES traded 67.24. Got about 12 points to make to the overnight session highs, but right now the NASDAQ is pumping higher here. Did see 70% long on the tilt. We have a number at the top of the hour. Might not be the biggest of numbers, but hey, last week we did see a number get released 15 minutes early. That doesn't seem to be the case at this time, but that number at the top of the hour, U.S. pending home sales. U.S. pending home sales, top of the hour.
All right, I have some updated options information. Kind of right here, right now, we're at 66.70 ES. So between where we are now in the ES and 10 points above are the most significant levels of zero-date calls that I see. So we may have the old rock fight here in this area in the ES.
The old rock fight.
When you're watching the options, are you strictly watching just zero DTEs, Jack?
Yes, because they make up like 70% of the volume, and since we're trading intraday, it makes sense. I mean, the only difference is when you get to a Friday or a monthly or quarterly, whatever else. But those are still 0 day at that point. But I might start looking at those earlier in the week if it is one of those weeks.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jack. Tomorrow is the end of Q3. End of Q3 tomorrow?
Yes. So expect some fireworks during power hour tomorrow and maybe before, because as we said, there should be theoretically out there with my dowsing rod right now a decent amount of selling from rebalancing. We'll see if that comes to fruition, but a few times on that, Andre, we have seen it just rally like nothing else in the last 10 minutes of the day,
On
the last day of the month or quarter.
On the highs, yes. Yes, so definitely. Oh boy, what a week. We got JOLTS tomorrow. We got Q3 ending tomorrow. We got ADP on Wednesday. We have initial jobless on Thursday, and then we got the big one, non-farm, on Friday. All the Fed speakers, all the Fed board members will be watching those jobs numbers, as we've been hearing from their comments. They semi-comfortable with where inflation is, but right now the focus is on jobs. You remember the 25 basis point cut back on September 17th. The 25 basis point cut was because of, quote, risk management, the labor market. So we will see what those numbers do produce here. Crude continuing to grind lower here. $63.67. New session lows there. Let's see, there's another push higher here in the NASDAQ. 4,951. That's
15-point pullbacks. Like, that's the only thing I'm seeing right now in these markets is if you are brave enough and you're able to manage risk, these 10 to 15-point pullbacks have been paying pretty well this opening morning.
Might be getting one. About 10-point pullback.
Yeah, as I was talking right there.
Yeah. It's you want to see it play out first? I guess you gotta.
It's hard. It's so difficult psychologically as a trader, right? Because you see a 10-point pullback, and instead of jumping in, you're just like, okay, this could be the one. And the next thing you know, we're right back up pushing the highs.
Yeah. Well, Cody, you said it right. So when that bell rang, those were pretty much the lows we saw. So, the NASDAQ. Listen, I'll talk about the NASDAQ. Gold selling off here, seeing some downside pressure. Gold down about $10 here. 38.49 last trade. We're talking about when that opening bell rang. Well, what does that really mean? Well, how do we view that? How do we take note of it? How do we trade around it? Well, I know who to bring in just for that answer. John Hoagland, come on in. Happy Monday, Hoag. opening range, my friend. I know we'll talk about the house account trades after, but what are we seeing here? Nasdaq in the ES, a little conflicted. What are you seeing here? Opening range. Happy Monday, my friend.
Hey, happy Monday to all of you as well. It's great to be on with you. Yeah, well, Nasdaq has been like shot like a cannon off the open. Opening range remains the low of the day. It is focused, of course, largely on Nvidia, which is right up against its all-time high here. The Nasdaq has kind of had a little bit of trouble here at weekly kickoff high 24,940. Did take a little bit of a look above that by about 11 points, but we're seeing probably one of the better pullbacks. A little better than the 15 points that Dakota was just talking about. So we may see a little bit of difficulty at that weekly kickoff high, but as long as the opening range remains that DAL as low, I like the longs there. S&Ps have been struggling much more so than the Nasdaq, but the Nasdaq has been presenting as the stronger of the two. Nasdaq held the overnight VWAP. S&Ps gave it up. We're still looking at a session gap. If we can't close that gap at some point early in the session today, I still like the idea of longs even for the S&Ps. These markets are extremely resilient. Of course, ACH, anything can happen. We're seeing some continuation in crude oil, still short 5. Looking for possibly the weekly kickoff low 63.40 as a potential target for at least the major part of that position. We did get stopped out of gold, however, we actually ended up profitable on the day on that. We covered 3 of them at pretty decent pricing down here, and we got stopped out of the other 2. So we're up about $75 on that trade in gold. But yeah, Nasdaq, S&Ps, especially the Nasdaq, really strong this morning. Of course, just look at Nvidia. You're looking at the Nasdaq. That's my story, Andre. I'm sticking to it.
Oh, talk to me about gold. Gold, really quick. We did make all-time highs overnight. What is your weekly kickoff high in gold? Weekly kickoff high. Trading 38.52.
38.86. 38.86, and this will be the 4th straight week of that being the weekly kickoff.
Order filled.
It's taking some time, but we are working our way towards it.
Look at this market, man. We tried to pull back, and it just instantly got bought up. Just 30 points in the Nasdaq.
Order rejected.
Weekly kickoff high right now, 24,940.
Order filled.
When it gets ignored, that's strong, man. That is a strong market right now.
40s, yeah. Nasdaq, we did see, I guess, call that pullback. Yeah, it was down to 24,921 to the tick. 30 points higher from it, and trying to have on some new session highs at 955. ES saw sellers come in, buyers stepped right back in after that and said, nope, not so fast. And speaking of buyers, we have 73% long tilt in the Nasdaq.
BTFD.
Yeah.
Order filled.
We were talking there, is the pullback going to be about 10 to 15 points? That time around, it was about 30 points. So it's, where do you get in? How do you manage your risk when you see something like that? It's just, we're still trying to find its way here in the first 25 minutes. Look at this number, the 5 minutes here in the top of the hour. We'll get a better idea as to where dips and the pullbacks may look like. Here's some 15 point, 20 point pullback in the Nasdaq.
Right back down. Right back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rejecting at that like 6670 SPX. It's been holding pretty good here. Maybe, we got a gap here. Obviously, we were up overnight, but let's see the number. I'm in no hurry to do anything. Make some trades.
Patience.
Yeah.
What trade do you eyeball in here, Jack?
What trades am I eyeballing? I don't know. I have kind of a wacky idea that I'd like to see that gap close, but I'm not. It's too strong right now. The ES just isn't nearly as strong as the Nasdaq right now. All eyes on Nvidia, I guess.
What's your wacky idea? I want to hear this wacky idea.
I'm not gonna do it.
What is it?
I'm not gonna do it.
What is it?
To sell the ES, maybe with the 10-point stop, and see if we can fill the gap.
That's not that wacky. But yeah. Well, just getting short in
Not that
general.
wacky.
Just getting short in general is the wacky part. I feel that.
Yeah, getting short in general is wacky. Also, I need Nvidia to stop dancing on the ceiling. Who was it who danced on the ceiling? I'm losing my 80s references. Let me know, chat.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, let's get this number. 3 minutes. 3 minutes till the number, top of the hour here.
Lionel Richie.
Is that true?
Right?
Chat, is that true?
Dancing on the ceiling.
Well, we got 4,100 people watching all across the globe. Yup, there saying Lionel Richie. Thank you for helping out, Jack. Please click subscribe. Please click
Mary
like.
Poppins.
Mary Poppins. I was gonna say Jamiroquai.
I guess so,
I know
too.
it's way off. I know it's way
You used to
off.
party with Lionel Richie.
Oh, super green. 2.5 minutes till the number just came in there. 200 lot came in on the bid in the ES. NASDAQ pretty thin right now. All right, they're gonna try to pull this back a little bit again in the NASDAQ. 20 points off. 20 points off those highs. 71% long on the tilt in the Nasdaq. And 24,000.
No, disconnected. Idiot, come on.
It's a 960. Yeah, for weekly kick. What do you do? It's weekly kickoff high for Nasdaq again. Again, those tops up daily levels pinned to the top of the chat. What's your weekly kickoff high in the Nasdaq?
24,940.
Oh, 940. All right, so we're higher than that right now.
Yeah, and all-time high in the S&P. 67.57.
67.57 all-time high. You got about 30 points to go to get there in the ES.
And keep in mind, we're just 25 points away in the spot market, the SPX. So we're trading 66.75 right now. 6,700 in that market would be the all-time high.
The president is to sign some executive orders scheduled for about 3 minutes, 15 after the hour. Not necessarily sure what that entails, but we'll just keep an eye out here on topstep TV. Keep you locked in throughout. Jared, nice entry. Still got that one micro on.
Yeah.
What's your
I'm going to join you here at 54.
That's
five?
dope.
Yep, 5 micros at 54. 54 quarter.
There's your pullback. There's your dip. What's your upside here? What's your target to the upside?
This is a base hit for me, Andre. I'm looking for these mid 60s. Mid 60s, maybe push. It's very similar to you, Jared, where I'll have the ability to hold 1 or 2 contracts as a runner.
Gold closing in on those highs. About $1 to go. Those will be all-time highs. Let's trade gold 38.58, 38.60, or those all-time highs, overnight highs as well. Jared, Dakota, buying the dip in the Nasdaq. I am Dow, basing a little bit, chopping about 50 points off the lows there, trading 46,513. Yes, right back to 67.25. Jags now 67.24s.
I just bailed there. I'm gonna wait. There might be a better opportunity a little bit lower here.
Yeah, back to 670 in the S&P 500.
Yeah,
Struggling to break through there.
Yeah, we are both upside now. What's the downside target? What's the target on in this crude trade? How's it count short 5 from 64.32? Let's trade 63.64. What are we looking here for the target?
We've got weekly kickoff low at 63.40.
Okay.
So me, I would go probably 10, 15 ticks short of that for a profit, for a target. We go 63.50, 63.55. We're almost there. We can always leave a runner on. It's a great trade.
Yes, it is. So we're looking, yeah. So perhaps get out of the 4, of the 5, and leave the 1 on.
Yep.
Good way to lock in profits. Jared, you still got this on?
Yeah, I still have one on. I'm gonna go ahead and go break even just for the simple fact that if it comes to 927, it will most likely go to 918. So just de-risk completely. Free trade. Got my 2 micros. Love those.
I'm back in from 52. So a little bit better pricing.
5.
Yep. I added another one, so 6. 6 now.
From long 6 MNQ from 24,000 to 952. Jared, $800 you were up $800 in the live funded account. When did you take the trade? What was it? Was it on the reopen yesterday, or was it at some point before the New York session?
It was right around 9:20 last night. I took gold shorts. Gold was pretty similar. It was pumping up from open all the way up until 8:30ish, and then I saw some exhausted buyers. And then when gold starts trending, it happens really quick. So I knew I wanted to be a part of it. It initially pulled back, had a little retrace, and then I got in on shorts. And it was kind of the same situation here. It hit my TP in 2 or 3 minutes. So you really like those trades, the ones that just happens really quick.
Yeah.
Sleep well, man.
Yeah.
Sleep well at night after those. Yup.
Those are nice. Usually the fast
You don't
numbers
always
would
get
get off lots.
Well, if you're gonna be wrong, you're gonna be wrong.
I know. Yeah, like that night last week where
the upper wake of doom, man. You guys got in and it immediately hunted your stock.
Like 5 seconds. 5 seconds. It's like
Very fast.
Bitcoin, micro Bitcoin, not done. New
Order
session
filled.
highs there. Since the New York session bell rang, Bitcoin up about $2,000, trading 114,780. About $2,000 since the bell rang about 45 minutes ago. Into the bottom of the hour here. So if we get another push higher here in the Nasdaq ES, seeing around 67.25. Gold wanted to go for those all-time highs. Got within a buck. We pulled back now, trading 38.54.
Got my finger on the horn here.
For gold?
for gold.
Yeah.
We have about 2 days. Oh, we had 2 days, 2-day window for that pullback last week.
I bailed out a second time for a small loss right there. I don't like how we fell twice to break out, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see if there's gonna be another setup. Like I said, 2 trades, 2 small losses, down 230. I'll wait for another setup. I'm gonna show some patience until we start to see some more support around this level.
I like that. Sounds like you're sticking to your plan there, Dakota. Jaren as well, sticking to their plan. Well, guess what the tip of the week is here on Top Step and Top Step TV. Bring you a new one every week here, and the new tip of the week this week is, boom, have a trading plan, just like Dakota was talking about. Define your goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon. I like that one. Develop a clear trading plan with entry and exit points every time, and set realistic profit targets and stop loss levels. Dakota, define your goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon. Which one of those three, those all go? Define your risk tolerance, Dakota. I ask you, Dakota, would you define your risk tolerance? How do you define tolerance for risk? You're gonna lose, be wrong fast, or line stop. What is Dakota's risk tolerance?
I think you need to define what your risk is first, right? Because it depends on your. To me, it depends on your account size. If you're trading a smaller account, your risk tolerance can be smaller than a bigger account. That's a good one. I'm not sure. I think the biggest one for me on that list is set realistic profit targets and stop losses. How many times do we have trades that are in the money and it's a good base hit, and then you want more out of it, and you end up giving it back and hitting your stop loss? So that third one's my favorite.
So realistic profit targets and stop loss levels. Yes, I like that as well. Risk tolerance, is that just a function of size then? In terms of the size of trades and size of your account balance? Micros, obviously, a little less risk. Middies, much bigger risk. So I like that. Yes, have a trading plan. Very, very important. Having a trading plan. You've looked over thousands and thousands of trading plans. What you look at first glance, the first thing you look at when you're looking at a trader's trading plan is what? First thing you go to, Hogue?
The mute button.
Mute button. First thing we do is we look for that mute button.
That's the first thing. That's the first thing, yes.
You look at thousands of these things, Hogues. The first thing you look at in a trading plan, is it numbers or is it word? What do you look for first?
Well, it goes back to one of the first things somebody said to me the first time on the trading floor with my shiny new badges. Learn how to take a loss. Learn how to take a loss. If that's not in the trading plan, it's not a trading plan. You have to be able to establish your loss per trade, per day, per month, per account. Most important thing. It's the only thing you can control. So if there's not a defined risk plan, a defined stop loss plan, a defined area of invalidation in multiple time frames, that's going to be my first question. But of course, I'm always looking at reward over risk next to win percentage.
What are your thoughts on a daily profit goal, Hogue? I'm shooting for this number. I want to make a $500.
Danger, Will Robinson. Number one, if you don't reach that goal, you're going to feel, even though you made money that day, you don't feel as though you were successful in your trading day because you're trying to reach that goal. Trying to reach that goal, and I've done this, it has been, if I'm $50 from reaching my goal and I just need to make a couple more ticks, I kind of lose my focus on waiting for the next good trade and thinking like, all right, I could just pick up a couple of ticks here and then I can I can call myself successful on the day because I reached my goal. That has created some really, really bad situations for me. I'm sure it probably has for other people, just because you want to reach your goal. What if the market isn't giving you the opportunity that day to reach a goal? So you start kind of reaching for straws and trying to take whatever it takes to get those 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ticks to get to your goal. If you start taking losses on that, then you start. That's one of the things that really kind of tilts me. So I don't have a profit goal. And the other thing that I kind of caution about is if you have a profit goal and you reach your profit goal and you're seeing the market really well, I mean, it can be limiting to what you're able to make in a day. So you just have to take what the market gives, be a good risk manager, look for the next good trade, and be careful about like daily profit targets and goals like that, because if you don't reach it, you're left the day, even though you had a good day, feeling like you didn't reach your goal. Why would you feel bad on a day when you made money? I don't know, but it happens.
Or even break even, right? Like, oh man, I didn't lose money today, but I feel horrible because I didn't reach my goal. That's wrong. That's hard. A scratch day can be a winning day. Trust me.
Your goal should be stay in your plan, stay in your process.
Yep. And review.
Okay, I jumped right back in at 925.
I was thinking about it. It took off very quick, but it did look good to get back in.
Yeah. I took a couple paper cuts on the way down, which is fine. I don't mind taking these smaller paper cuts to get and having that patience to get back in at a better price.
Reward over risk.
So I'm in 5 from 925. So see if we can push back up to the top of this area, like these 50s.
925. All right.
Yep.
First one tried 54s. Then we tried 52s. Got out quickly. I like that. Cut the losses early. Also should be part of your trading plan. And then found a better price. Not long. 5 from 24,925 as we trade 24,950 Dakota.
Yeah. I'll take a couple profits here at 50s.
Man,
there we go.
So if I can answer Tom in the chat, he's up 1,000 and so tempted to find another trade, fighting his feelings to stop. It is hard to do that, right? So Tom, I mean, you can set a rule in your trading plan. Once I'm up $1,000, maybe I'll take a break. I'll kind of get my feet back on the ground and look for the next good trade. Don't think about adding to it. Just look for the next good trade. And then it can be a rule like, once you reach $1,000, if you take another trade and it's a win, it buys you the opportunity to look for another good trade. If it's a loss, then you for sure have to take a break, and you might want to consider taking the rest of the day off, moving to a practice account, whatever it is. But just taking that loss off that high water mark sometimes is enough to tilt people, and just
Order filled.
Just be aware of the triggers that tilt you.
Oh, and we see all the time in shoulder tap. You should have some system for like if you're flat up a certain amount of money, how much you're willing to lose at that. Some people might be 200, might be 500, but too many times I've seen looking through trade reports where someone will have a 3K loss limit, they'll be flat up $12,000, and then they go and hit that loss limit.
Yeah,
I've been there.
Yeah.
Use
Something I like to think about is. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying personal daily profit target in topstep X. We make sure you can ensure that you lock in this amount for your profit, your daily P&L. You're up $1,500. You don't want to walk away less than up $1,000. We'll put right there in the risk settings. Click on that wheel, right? The settings. In your topstep X, go to risk settings and type in that number to ensure you're going to lock in and just maintain that profitable day. Go ahead, Jaron. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, no problem. Something I like to think about. It's very simple, but if you're up $1,000 and you're still fighting the urge to keep trading, you just have to ask yourself: is making an additional 500 gonna feel better than it's gonna hurt to lose that 1,000 or lose and get back down to 500? So what's the benefit cost? Is it gonna feel better to win than it's gonna hurt to lose? Most of the time, for me, it's gonna hurt to lose that because I like the money that I see. So if you can answer that question, it can also prevent you from taking those trades.
Jared's asking the question about mental capital. I mean, you walk away up $5,000, but what's the mental capital cost of losing 500 of the 1,000 you were up?
What's that saying? One in the hand's worth two in the bush.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about birds in that. I'm just explaining. It's like an idiot. Guys, hell out of here.
Let's say, hey, let's see if we can push here and make some new highs in the NASDAQ. It's actually there to
Order filled.
Yeah, that was a nice dip to buy, right?
Yeah.
And from 925, I took most of my profits. I have one contract as a runner. See if we can go through and do just that, Andre.
Oh, look at 5 minutes. I mean, look at that entry. Dakota, if you can move that chart over to the left a little bit, just slide over. Look at that 5 minute, that range right there, Yeah. That nice entry there. Looking at this might be the upper end right now.
Correct. Yeah, that's why I took off most of my position. Yep. Like looking at this to be a little bit of a range, right? Is that what you're referring to? It's a decent sized range too. I mean, 40 points. Buy low, sell high, and rinse and repeat. I want to be in the direction of this trend, which is long. So if we get back down to the bottom of this, maybe I find another opportunity to either add or get into the position again. Get another, base hit.
This market's giving right now. That's what this market is providing for the time being. That can obviously change. We have the press conference with Netanyahu and Trump. That is at 12:15 p.m. Central Time. And Williams is scheduled to speak at 12:30, along with Musalem as well at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. So speakers, more speakers, and we'll see what they have to say. They try coming in hot, try to sound a little more hawkish. Trying to slow down. Market from fully pricing in 2 rate cuts in October and then December. Worked for a second, and then at least equities start pumping this thing higher. All right, bottom of the hour coming in here in about 2.5 minutes. Hogue, first hour into the New York session, you are looking for what, Hogue? What will you jot down on your notes right there after the first hour into the New York session?
Initial balance. So let's put them on the charts here. All right.
High price and low price
for the first hour of the session. So here's initial balance high, 24,975 half. Initial balance low. Gotta get to it. Here we go. 24,848 and a quarter.
848 quarter. Okay. And in the ES?
Let's put them on. We got to get them on there so we know where they are. All right, so initial balance high in the S&P is 67.31 quarter. Initial balance low 67.1575, a much smaller initial balance than we saw on Friday. And with that wide initial balance, it would have taken a lot of energy to extend outside of it, which it never did in the S&P, is just barely in the NASDAQ. But there's probably more room for bigger range in the regular trading hour because of the small initial balance here in the S&P and in the NASDAQ.
That makes sense. Hogue, quick Delta update if you have that handy. ES and NASDAQ. Dark.
ES negative 940. NASDAQ positive 1,500.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, nothing on just yet. Again, initial balance high, initial balance low. Pretty straightforward. An hour after the New York bell rings, put down the high price and you put down the low price.
And flat.
Flat. Trade.
Yep, just gonna wait for that. Maybe this trade to set up again if we push back down to the 920s, lower 900s.
So just a casual, we're about to set that initial balance in the ES. It's about 15 points.
And like Hogue said, the energy, the wider the range, the more energy it will take to extend out above and below those. Higher the range, we're seeing the ES or volume. Essentially, volume keeps coiling up, right? Coiling.
Yes.
When those pop, when those break out or break down through it, you'll see some extension. Might see that play out here in the ES. All right, bottom hours come and gone. Got that Dallas Fed number out of the way now. Yeah, Top of the hour. President meets with Netanyahu. Keep an eye out for that. Any headlines that do hit, of course, we'll be breaking them here on Top Step TV.
I'm gonna
Jerry,
hop
still
in
got
a short. No, I'm gonna hop in a short. Just play the range, not risk too much on this. Just 2 micros. So if I get stopped out, I'll probably lock the account, and if it hits, maybe we'll take another. Either way, I'm gonna be happy with it. But yeah, this is just doing what Dakota said at this point, just playing the range. Looks like we're failing to move higher at this point. Maybe we want to see lower prices before we continue up. So
Yeah, I like that play. I was just gonna say it looks like it.
Jared, you're short from 950, 951.
954.75.
Okay, we're playing the range. So what are you looking for a downside here?
Yeah, downside. I think if we're gonna play the range, we could easily, come down to these lows. If we get a quick flood, I'm not hold it too long because we are, and it's kind of going back to what Dakota just said. When knowing when to take profits and knowing when to get out of a trade. So if I were to hold it too long and then it reverses and hits my stop, that wouldn't be following my plan. So I think my plan is just for it to come down to this low.
What's that? What's this level, Jared? When you say this level, what price?
917.50. That's the low that we made at 1020.
Look at that.
Yep.
Nice work.
Yeah, get down those 20s. Yep. Everything else 50-50 on the tilt right now. Not seeing any massive orders in the ES. Jack, what prices are we looking at here in the ES? Anything?
We're still right in that 10-point kerfuffleation range. All right, so we're trading 66.73 right now in the SPX. Right between 66.70 and 66.80 was where I was looking to maybe sell to see if we can close that gap, just because the risk reward looked good. Still not in anything.
Go to your flat.
Yeah, I'm flat right now.
All right. Rinse and well, what's the P&L right now? Took 2 paper cuts, 1.
I took
winner.
3 paper cuts and 1 winner, down 75. Yep.
All right. Would you like to go back to the well on this if we get down to those 920s or so, 924s?
Correct. Yes, I'm actually just jumped into a short as we spoke. I'm short from 52 3/4, and I'm doing the exact same thing, Brandon. Jaron, just looking to take profits on the way down. I don't think I have as wide of a take profit as you do. I'm going to play this a little tight, just because it's going against the trend. Whenever I go against the trend, I'm a lot more cautious, just more willing to take profits sooner.
Yeah, your take profit has to be where the market could reverse on you. And every buying attempt getting bought back up so quick, it makes sense to have a lot tighter targets now that we're shorting.
Yeah, GG in the chat. Paper cuts, just small losses. Just little quick nicks, little small losses. Will be healed quickly with a nice edge.
Sheaving nicks.
Yeah, solid means paper cuts. Small losses. All right, so go to Jared. Switch to range share. They were looking for buying the dip, right? You heard him right in the opening bell. You heard him say, all right, where do we buy this dip? All right, he did buy the dip. Got out, and now they've seen the market generator for information. Now they're going, they've transitioned, shift gears into some range trading now. So that's what you're seeing evolve as the markets, so what the market's allowing. Base hits, right? That's what they've turned into. Good stuff, fellas. Let's take a look at gold. 38.54. $6 off the highs there. Crude, 14 cents off the lows. $63.75 last trade. ES trading 67.27, and the Nasdaq trading 24,950. But the big mover is Bitcoin. Micro Bitcoin.
Kelvin in the chat states it. This is so true. It is. This right here, right now, is why Topstep TP is so good. Levels, trades, targets, losses, but of course that risk disclosure is saying this is not for copy, but for education. And lead by example. I love being on here with you, Jaron, and hopefully this can demonstrate for traders. You can have a bias, and then it's okay to change it mid-session because the market changes. We were buying the dip, like you said, Andre, and if you see something that changes, you change with it. And we might be wrong, you might be right, but that's just part of it.
Objectivity. It's the key to this game. I've married my bias and what I think, because I'm so smart, what I think the market's going deal it all too well, and that's hurt me way too many times. Being objective, what does the market show me versus what do I want to see? And it's the market. I've learned it reveals its hand to you. It does tell you the direction, and as long as you can remain that way, the key to success is just remaining objective and following what it's showing you. So I think that's a battle in its own. And some days I wake up and I think that I know exactly what's going to happen, but something I'm learning as we go. And today was, like you said,
Just be humble.
yeah,
You don't know what's going to happen.
The market will humble your ass. That's right.
Oh, yeah, well.
Yeah, I like this. I like how you guys shifted gears. Those first four candles on the 5 minute, it just looked like it was all green, right? Strong green buying in the NASDAQ. Then we're talking about buying the dip, right? You know, where are we going to take this thing? We did push higher here, and the market's kind of found its range for the last 20 minutes or so. These fellas have adapted nicely. Good stuff. We're about trading here on Topstep TV. 4,100 people watching. We are closing in on 183,000 subscribers. Let's see if we get there today. Click subscribe, please. Click thumbs up. And click the bell in the upper right-hand corner. Thank you very, very much. Why is that funny, Dakota? It's so funny.
Oh, just the whole that whole spiel. I still am not used to it. I'm gonna be on YouTube and Topstep TV for for 10 years and just being used to the click like, click subscribe mindset.
I know Hogue just stepped up. I love when Hogue has to say it. That's the ultimate. When Hogue's thinking to himself, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I know. All right. I'm taking a couple profits here in these upper 30s.
Favorite. Yeah.
Nice base hit, right?
We're growing, man. Look at that. 182,000 subscribers. It's wild. Absolutely wild. All right. Let's see. Dakota and Jaron. Let's go to Dakota. Dakota, you're short from 53. What are you looking for a target?
Right there. I just took off most of my position. Right there in these mid 30s. So I was short 5. I'm now only short 1, and I'm going to trail this last one back down into these lows. So base hit. Question is, why didn't I hold this all the way to the bottom? So it's counter trend. This market is very bullish, and I took my base hit, 15 points on a short in this market. I got to be happy with that. And then I have one contract running. I now green on the screen. I was down, now I'm up, and we'll just see if this last contract will get back down to these 920s.
Love it, Dakota. Jared, looking for the same?
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. Same straight base hit at this point. Now that we've got, and I don't want to call this a flush because it's only moved down 15 points, but this nice little move down right here, I wouldn't like it to come back up to the upper wick. I'm going to go ahead and risk, take one off at the base of this candle, and then all off at the wick. So it was just a straight get in, get out trade, playing the range. Me and Dakota had the same idea. Love it.
So, Dre, really quick, you mentioned 183,000 subscribers. A while back, I forgot to mention, we surpassed the population of Naperville, Illinois at 153.
Yes.
Next in the target. If we can get the 185, Andre, we will have more subscribers than upstanding people that live in Fort Lauderdale. That's what I got my eyes on.
All right,
Can we get above Fort Lauderdale?
Fort
3 for
Lauderdale.
1 drink deals, happy hour, Fort Lauderdale.
We're going populations.
Who's watching Fort Lauderdale? Naperville? What, the #1 suburb in the country? Something like that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, indeed. Don't blow that. You're not. Brad Sims, we're working on it. Brad Sims, but you're not wrong. I like this trade. So they get it with the 5, right? J4. And if we do get the big move, right? If they do get the big move, they got that 1 on, right? They do get some exposure. They do catch a piece of it. I really like how you guys have adapted here. All right, Jack. Don likes it. Don approves, Jack.
I had a great time on spring break in Fort Lauderdale when I was in college. Great time. Nothing but love for Fort Lauderdale.
Dr. Dax in the chat. Dr. Dax, where are you guys lost it? I've been watching since you had 18,000 subscribers. Well, Dr. Dax.
Nice.
We gotten better a little bit. Things got a little better. Maybe. Hopefully be nice.
They've gotten considerably better, I would say.
I hope so. Charles Chapman, Overland Park, Kansas, Blue Valley North. I'm familiar with that area. Okay, that being said, we'll let these guys work on the, let these range trades play out a little bit. South Florida stand up. Shout out to TikTok. Okay, with that being said, we talk about this all the time. The strength of the U.S. consumer. Prices, yeah, prices go higher, but this country has no problem swiping the old credit card and paying up for those. So we're going to get a little more insight into this. I'm fascinated with these type of stories. So bring this in. More news here at Top Step TV. This is illuminating.
Many Americans are feeling down on the economy.
We have about 44% of consumers who are spontaneously telling us that high prices are weighing down their personal finances, and that's been something that has not really eased.
Order filled.
Fears of higher inflation and risk of a weaker labor market are making many anxious, according to a new University of Michigan consumer sentiment survey. Despite the negative outlook, people are still spending. New data from the Commerce Department shows consumer spending rose 0.6% in August and 0.4% when adjusting for inflation.
The big reason for that is that the vast majority of aggregate consumer spending is being generated by high income and high wealth consumers.
But the survey's director, Joanne Shu, says lower income consumers are beginning to pull back, and the impact of President Trump's aggressive trade policies is a wide concern.
Tariffs are very, very high on people's minds, specifically because of the believed impact of those tariffs on the prices that consumers will eventually pay.
And it's likely prices could continue to climb. Trump announcing new tariffs Thursday on certain kinds of furniture, a 25% tariff on trucks, and a 100% tariff on some imported brand name or patented pharmaceutical drugs. American University's Kara Reynolds says these new tariffs could continue to drag consumer sentiment and impact the economy long term.
The inflation, fairly weak job numbers, and lower consumer sentiment, I think that has to hit consumer spending soon. If consumers are pulling back, you're going to see that in economic growth.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
I don't know.
Budge.
Yeah, I mean, has it ever stopped us from spending?
No.
It's all good in theory. It's all good in theory, it is, but in practice, we see the numbers to the contrary. But eventually, we got to keep an eye out. I mean, we'll keep an eye out for that. Sheesh, my chat.
Oh, BK.
Get out of here. Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's funny.
It is, yeah. All right, you guys are still in this trade. Top of the hour coming here in about 17 minutes.
Yeah, it tagged my break even, but it was a free trade. Not too mad about it.
Yeah, I'm out as well.
Okay.
Yep, I'm out as well. Plus $20.
Hold on.
Okay.
Jeremy, what is the P&L now? What's your P&L looking like?
928.50.
Done.
Nice.
Done.
Good day. Good day.
Let's see. We got the Dow. We catch a bit of a bid here, pushing higher. See if the ES or NASDAQ pay any attention to it whatsoever. Maybe ES. We get up to these 31s. We're trading 67.29. You see some sellers come in there. Look at the ladder. Nothing. So 50 on the bid, 50 on the ask in the ES. We're actually this afternoon with the speakers, president with a press conference at 12:15, and this week is just getting started. I don't mind these type of Mondays where it's kind of, there's opportunity for sure. If there's opportunity, I think we kind of gonna ramp up into this week again. Jobs. Tomorrow, end of Q3.
Correct.
It just, this is never stops.
It's a busy week, man.
It is.
It is. Tomorrow's the end of Q3. We have unemployment. We have non-farm on Friday. It's going to be a jam-packed week full of employment data.
Jack, I'll throw it to you on this one. With the jobs, is bad news good? Is bad news for jobs? Obviously, it's not financial, but it's just, you're right. Is bad news good news in terms of the jobs?
This is why I like the inflation numbers now, because they're more kind of cut and dry. Like hot is bad, cool is good.
Right.
I don't know. If I did know I could make a bunch of money, there's definitely a strong possibility of both, right? Because what's going to happen is if we come in with a super strong job number, right, rate cuts are going to come into question, and we don't like that. The super bad job number,
Good jobs
economy
numbers.
shit.
Jack,
It's
good jobs numbers
22,
mean
right?
good jobs numbers mean strong economy. No.
I supposed to.
I think strangely enough, I think that what would probably lead to the biggest decline in equities would be like a massive beat on jobs. So I know that makes no sense, but eliminating those rate cuts would really put some pressure on.
Right. I guess what Jack's kind of referred to, it's the jobs numbers come in quite well.
Order
much better than
filled.
Expected. We're gonna look to Fed funds, look to the Fed, and say, all right, are they going to cut? Are they going to cut 2 more times? Well, the Fed might have to pause. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's all if-thens. By no means is there any certainty one way or another. That's the tricky part with this. So we'll see how the market reacts on those numbers. Start with JOLTS tomorrow. JOLTS, job openings. Job openings. How many jobs are open here in the U.S.?
Order filled.
GDP is private payrolls. Could give you a little bit better insight into what the actual picture is here in the labor market.
Yeah, because and they're already. If you listen to the Fed speakers, and I'm interested to see
Order
what our
filled.
friends have to say this afternoon, but they've already been kind of tempering back expectations for the total 75 basis points of cuts by December, and you know they kind of capitulated a little bit, as Powell called it, a risk management cut. But if GDP is 3.8% and jobs are strong and inflation's running 3% or something, I don't know what the reasoning would be to cut rates.
I mean, they've been saying it all week last week too, right? Just trying to reduce everyone's expectations for a full 3 quarters for the year.
They did. They are. Not Myron. Myron is full steam ahead.
He's explaining himself. Enjoy that.
Jack, are you a fan? You sounds like you have. You're cool with Myron. Myron just did.
Hey, I think it's important we can disagree on policy, but have a civil debate about it. I like that he's posting, basically, so I'm a fan of how he's presenting himself.
Oh man, Myron
Fair
getting
enough.
hot. All right, everyone flat right now. Everyone's flat, yes?
Yeah, I'm glad.
All right, cool. Let's take a look at what we have here on tap for the rest of the day. Okay, we do have, after this, of course, we're going to recap. That's not for a little bit. Hour 20 minutes from now, we do have trade with Topstep, with Alfie, and Dolby, and Jay. Shoulder tap? Shoulder tap back, Jack. Shoulder tap back.
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
Excited.
With Aaron.
Yes,
Jack,
it is.
with Aaron. And, of course, group coaching. We'll talk about that a little bit. We've got trade with Topstep, with Vinny and Ace. I love these names. We get to meet Vinny, get to meet Ace, with JD and myself, and of course it's a Monday. Can't spell Monday without Mo, so Mo will be joining Dolby and myself in Power On and Buzzer and Slow Vegas. Then we got Slow Markets, Dakota, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Slow Markets. Who will be joining you today?
Coach Jay. Coach Jay is going to be joining me tonight during Slow Markets, 7:30 Central.
Order filled.
And, man, it's always a good one. Always a good one with Coach Jay. We review trader stats on Wednesdays, and you know this, right, Jared? There's opportunities in these markets overnight, and I mean, Jared, you're a great example. You're trading, it looks like, and you've been doing really well in your account.
I would say some of my bigger wins have come during Asia session with gold. G's done me very well. Now it's the times I had to get used to. I don't prefer to trade gold from 6 to 8 EST, but around 9 to 10:30 EST, which feels weird that you're trading that late at night. But there's just so many good moves that present themselves. So yeah, capitalizing on it's been big for me.
Awesome, good to hear.
Somebody asked earlier for the countries for our subscribers, Andre. We have, you'll be glad to know, we have taken over St. Lucia at 180,000. Next up is Curacao at 185,000. So we'll pass Fort Lauderdale and Curacao at the same time. Then we got a wild for Samoa.
All right, Samoa, hang with us. Let's
Order
see
filled.
219,000 subscribers.
if we can get there. All right, Hogue. Well, we identified identified an initial balance high, initial balance low in the Nasdaq and the ES about 20 minutes ago. So we're coming up to the top of the hour now. So 9:30 a.m. Central, we write down those levels. We identify those IB high, IB low. At the top of the hour, we do what with those IB high and IB low numbers here?
Well, a lot of that depends on the context of the market. So let's take a quick look. So here we are. Let me make sure this is correct. 30, 38, 53, 40, 53, 40 is IB high in the gold. Okay. So what we're looking for in gold is we've taken out the high of the initial balance a couple of times. We do not have a failed upside auction. However, the market is attempting to kind of hold above the initial balance high. We can see that on this 30-minute bar right here. I'm looking to see if we continue to reject early range, and in that case, we might see the market take out that all-time high. I've still got my button on the horn. We'll see if that plays out. Still looking for 38.86 weekly kickoff high for the past 4 weeks to get tested. But as far as like the equities are concerned, all right, so we have small initial balances. This is the Nasdaq 30-minute chart. Overnight inventory to the long side. Buyers still coming in, holding in the upper half of today's range. I think that kind of bears important information that we're really trying to hold the highs here in the Nasdaq. Not so much in the S&Ps, but I'm watching the extremes again. The initial balance high. If we get a breakout above there, and we see some momentum, some participation, some volume, then I could see us taking out the all-time high and continuing to push to the upside. You got to be careful with that though, because of the overnight inventory. As long as it is, if all of these new longs start to get nervous, they could pull it. They could push us back. Could take out the initial balance low, and maybe even get to a session gap close, which would bring us down to about 24.737. Or even a settlement check. Settlement is 24.726.75. But the way the market is presenting itself right now, you got to be thinking, okay, what is it trying to do? It's trying to go higher. How good of a job is it doing moving higher? Well, it's holding above the half-back mark of the day so far. We're starting to hold maybe above that weekly kickoff high, 24.940. We didn't see any real good reaction by longer time frames in and around it. But if we start to hold it as support, then I could again see this market moving higher. And if we do extend the range, it's not going to take the same amount of energy it would have on Friday with the huge initial balance that we had. And that S&Ps largely the same, setting up to be kind of an inside day, inside the initial balance. So I'm focusing on the initial balance. 67.31 quarter high in the S&Ps, 67.15.75. At the low end, again, overnight inventory long. The market has not been performing as well in the S&Ps as it has in the Nasdaq. We're a lot further from the weekly kickoff high, which is a little bit different than the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq's weekly kickoff high is lower than the all-time high. Basically, this week's weekly kickoff high in the S&Ps is the all-time high. So I'm trying to see if there's any change in the current area of balance, which is at the extremes of the initial balance high and initial balance low. We got to see. Love to see a failed downside auction and then see this market continue to resolve higher. That would work for me in both the S&P and the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is still holding the opening range at the dead-ass low, so we're looking for longs as long as that's the case. We're not getting much of a pullback, and the Nasdaq is holding up much better than the S&Ps. So we just gotta be patient. Look for the market to come to you and say, "Here's your spot. Here it is. This is what you've been waiting for." Don't listen. Don't listen to it if it's yelling at you. Get in now. You're gonna miss it.
Up in there. Hogue, I got a question for you about that. Your weekly kickoff high in the ES, call it all-time highs, right? Up around 67.
Yes.
Weekly kickoff high in the Nasdaq, we're pretty much trading it right now. Not all-time highs in the Nasdaq. What gives? What when your calculations? Don't give away the secrets. Just in general, why do you think the difference between the two?
No secrets. So the weekly kickoff high in the Nasdaq, we got a reference level of importance from the 23rd here. We got a naked point of control up there. Okay, so that's a comfort level from back on the 23rd of September. Look at where the market is finding comfort again. It's finding comfort at the weekly kickoff high. So I'm looking at this saying, are we going to just kind of hang around here and be happy in a place we were happy at before? Or are we going to go hiking? Are we going to go look at the mountains? Or are we going to go down and look at the beach? One of the three is, of course, going to happen, obviously. Right now, we're pretty magnetic towards weekly kickoff high. The market's waiting for new information. We're looking for new participants, new information. In the S&Ps, we don't have that reference point. Okay, here is
Good stuff.
so the point of control from the 23rd is all the way down here, and we've rechecked it already.
What's that
I
price?
don't have any. That point of control was right around 67.10.
Yep.
We checked it on Thursday. Okay, so and we don't have a reference in the form of a point of control, a naked point of control at the highs here. What we have is a weak high. So there's a double top from this 22nd here. We traded within a tick of it on the 23rd. That's not a strong high. There's no excess in that high. That says, okay, the market's still willing to push to that level and is trying to kind of come back to it. You know, I kind of look at it like there's a bunch of kids standing around a pool and they're wondering if it's too cold. Somebody puts their toe in, says, no, it's too cold. Let's come back later. So really just kind of looking for this weak high to be taken out. And that's, to me, one of the more important reference levels that we have above that isn't necessarily considered a measured move, if you will.
Love it. How good's this guy? Where else are you gonna get that? Oh man, great stuff.
Yeah, I try. You know what I do like to do though? So everybody, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you subscribe.
You heard us. You heard us when you stepped away for a minute.
I did.
Yeah.
So I did make a trade while you were going off. I got in a short from 44 and took profit. I'm looking for a long at these 920s.
Nice.
Playing it tight.
Look at these range traders. Looking for a long from 920. Hogue, you heard the man. Click subscribe, click like, and click notify. Great job. Hogue Legend, absolutely, 100%. What else? You're not going to get that. And you got group coaching. We'll talk about that later. Group coaching with GD. I mean, GD Hogan Hoop, talking 100 plus years, easy experience. Easy on that. So,
Hogue's an influencer now.
Hogue's an influencer.
Andre,
Yeah.
you want to hear, I always love a good rough Sunday story.
Okay.
So the Ryder Cup was this weekend,
Yeah.
which was something else. Check out these Uber prices to get back to Manhattan from Bethpage after the Ryder Cup.
12 minutes, $1,000.
Wow.
Well, that's how far away they are. It would be longer than 12 minutes to get anywhere there, but $1,000 for an
I
SUV.
mean,
How long is the drive?
I like the
was the
shuttle.
question.
A couple hours out there. I think it's in Long Island, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
far
sort of-
down there in Long Island.
That is, yeah, well, USA should
I like the price for the shuttle. This is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where this got. I can't control the screenshots, but I thought this was fun.
Just a proper thrashing. Just an absolute proper thrashing.
They came back at the end, but
It was.
yeah, Russell Henley is going to think about leaving that putt short.
Well,
Can't leave the putt short.
doesn't have a chance to get in. Doesn't have a chance to get in. It's about an hour and a half. Hour and a half out the Bethpage. With no traffic. All right, 24,926. I'm looking at the 5 minute here on the NASDAQ. Cody, you took that short. You are now out. Flat.
Yeah, that was a quick one. Looking for longs down here. I'm going to be a little bit patient though, Andre, to see if we can make a run down through these like 918s before buying it.
Yeah.
I'm at 530, so I'm gonna just I'm not too quick to get back
Good.
profits.
And that's all base hits, Dakota. Those are all base
Correct.
hits.
Yeah.
All base hits. There's no home run trades there.
The reason why
Micros.
the P&L is so big though, Andre, was I thought I was on micros and I was on minis and I jumped in with 5 and I just quickly got out of it.
I didn't know that
Well,
part.
That's one way to do it.
Part to go to. still, the point being, damn, man. Those micros.
I'm just saying. That's it is what it is. I mean, I just instantly
I think
got
that's
it.
happened. I think that's happened to all of us. Honestly.
Dude, that's how I started this. That's how I started this account. You remember, my very first trade. And this has been a good month. Come on, to whoever said I was just gambling.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
That's a sight.
Guy in chat. Yeah, like actually gambling. Gucci says, but my very first trade in this account was the same. It was a fat finger in minis, minus 1400. Every day this month, I've basically been starting in the hole, starting off red, and then ended up turning around. So it's been a journey this month.
Just set your lock parameters. I did that because, you know, we're on TV, we're looking at a bunch of screens at once, and I've done that too, where I was at 5 queued up to do MES, and then switch back to ES, and suddenly I'm in for 5. But you and your settings can go and put product limits on, unless you think you need to trade 5 NQ. And in that, we're all good.
How long does it last for? Does it last for a day, or can I have it?
Just until you change it.
Okay. Yeah, I might go do that, because that's the second time it's happened. Hey, I don't know. It worked out. It was my favorite this time.
Yeah,
So cool.
you don't want to be the accidental trader unless it works in your favor.
Yeah, exactly. Right, Hogue? And it's one of those where it's like, you don't have any emotion because you're like, it's just 5 micros. In reality, it was minis. I'm like, well, that was a good trade. That's a good trade.
Winner, you can see. I meant to do that. I want.
Give me 1 second. I have to put down a rowdy crowd that is right outside my office.
Wow, fan club banging on Jack's doors. But yeah, absolutely the symbol blocker. It's a good way to minimize that. But yeah, Hogan adds, well, Dakota, pull those stats up really quick. Let's go over just some high level win percentage, risk reward. That is a beautiful looking count. What do we got here? Talk to me. What are we looking at for win percentage?
Yeah, so this has been 1 month so far in this account. I was on shoulder tap, everyone. So everyone was talking about that when I was on shoulder tap with Ben and Baron. But yeah, my win trade percentage is nothing crazy. 63% winning trade percentage, and then about a 1-to-1 risk reward. 1-to-1 risk reward. It's nothing like absolutely insane, nothing flashy, but consistent. The consistency is the one thing I was looking for. This is still not a crazy amount of data. It's only 1 month. I want to see another month before I absolutely feel confident in scaling up to bigger sizes. There's that fat finger trade, minus $1,400 to start it. But yeah, it's been nice, consistent trading here on this account. And this is the account I'm trading during slow markets, and I'm trading live here during fast markets as well.
Hold up. Let's go back to earlier in 2025. That is not what your stats look like whatsoever.
No.
Under 50% win percentage. Bigger risk rewards. This is not the Dakota that when I first met coming to trading. You've completely adapted your style. You know better than anyone. You were working with Dakota. It was, what were your win percentage? What, in the 30s?
Correct. Yeah, it was a very low win percentage, but a high risk reward.
Profitable, yes. What, just
Markets were volatile back then too, though.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Markets conditions changed. I changed. It took me a little bit to change though, because I went through that drawdown right over the first half of this year, basically, or at least the majority. After I took
Order
out
filled.
$1 million, to start the year, then it was just kind of mixed results and drawdown. Then I went through that whole phase, and almost well over a month ago for the shoulder tap, got back into combine now XFA, and I'm like, okay, smaller size, wider stops, base hits, and it's played really well for this month.
Nice. Yeah. Gold all-time highs. Auga!
Auga's right. Dakota, absolutely love seeing that. Absolutely love seeing that. Obviously, changing it up, shifting gears. You only learn the hard way. But yeah, new all-time highs in gold, 38.62. Dakota now going for the base hits. As market's volatility has dried up a little bit. Level off. Again, Dakota first came on. First time I ever met Dakota, he put on a 100-point banger in the Nasdaq. I go, who is this kid? The stats he goes.
Hey, remember I used to hold 30 minis overnight?
Yeah, that was a different time though.
Yeah.
And now you're taking
does
different.
too. Oh yeah, Mick loves me. Mick loves me. It's just, hey Dakota, you know you have 3 minis. Oh yeah, I'm gonna hold this overnight.
New Lowe's Crew is 60, but now Dakota, look at that. Market, Altilities, level off. Now 63% win percentage. 1-1 R. That works. That pays bills. That keeps you in the game for a long time. Absolutely love seeing that, Dakota. All right, we got about 24 minutes till the bottom of the hour, which is also the London close. Did touch into what we have on tap here for Top Step EV for today for the rest of the week, but you won't hear from me anymore. Let's bring in James. James, come on in. Happy Monday. Haven't heard from you yet. What's going on, my man?
Hello, Andre. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm here with the things you need to know to kick off your week strong here at Top Step TV. Starting with tomorrow, we've got another installment of Mindset Matters with special guest Dr. V. Trading isn't just about charts and numbers, it's also about your mindset. All right, Dr. V is going to share practical tools to help you stay focused, disciplined, and confident in the heat of the markets. She'll also answer your questions live, giving you the chance to get expert advice in real time. It's all coming your way on Mindset Matters only here on Top Step TV. All right, and right now we're going to drop a link in the chat for you to submit your questions, and then make sure you tune back in Tuesday, September 30th. That's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central for Mindset Matters with Dr. V. Get your questions in now. Be back here tomorrow. We love having Mindset Matters. If you've never seen a segment, please tune in. You never know how it could help you when you're trading. Also, later today at noon, group coaching with Hogue continues on all week long. Hogue, JD, and Hoop take their lunch break and sit right here with you and answer your questions live. We're going to drop another link in the chat. This one we'll be dropping it throughout the day. So if you don't see it now, just ask and a mob will drop it for you. But get your questions in for Hogue, JD, and Hoop to answer live. Any trading questions, go to Hogue, and any mindset questions, go to Dr. V. So I know we're throwing a lot at you, but you guys got this. All right, Andre, back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, James. Yes, we're throwing a lot because we bring a lot. Group coaching today. Mindset Matters tomorrow. I'll get those questions in. And Hogue, JD, Hoop. Again, I can't say it enough. I don't even know. How many, Hogue, real quick, how many years experience combined between you three? And the family business, 150?
Oh,
There you go. Just call it 100.
80.
You can't get it anymore.
Probably 120.
120. There you go. Family business for JD. Family business for who? Family business for Hogue as well. You're not going to get that anywhere else.
Probably more than that.
That's what I'm saying. $180, man. Dads, brothers.
Me and my dad are 80 in its own.
You know,
Yeah,
man.
probably closer to $180.
Yep, there you go. New Lowe's Crew. Hogue, we're closing on those 40s, man. 63.45 last trade. House account short from 64.32. Have you and JD? Is this in? Who took it? You or JD? Gold pulled right back off those all-time highs.
No, we got orders in to cover it at 340, 63.40.
All right, all of them.
Looks that way.
Okay, cool. Like that. And
I'll talk to JD here.
What's come on?
Do we
63.41.
we 10% it here?
I don't know. No, come on. Oh boy.
Somebody get out and push.
Don't do this.
Man, that's one heck of a trade right there.
Yeah. Jared, are you hawking a new trade? What's going on over there, Jared? You're locked in on something, my friend. What are you seeing there? 24,920. What do you got?
Yeah, I think if we break this low, we could definitely see continuation to the downside, maybe to this consolidation that we had in the overnight, maybe VWAP. And then if I could see some buyer step in, I would look to take a long as well. I don't want a long here, though. I think it looks like the sellers are kind of picking up some steam. So it would be kind of catching a falling knife here. So I'm just waiting. Something appears and shows me its hand.
I agree with that.
Oak.
All right.
Just 63.39s. Just printed.
Order filled.
We screwed up.
God damn, what the fuck, dude?
38s.
See what I would do there, Hogue, if you have 3 on.
40,
How many do you have on?
40 straight through.
I think we had 3. I don't know. I thought we still had all 5 on, but I'm seeing 3 now.
You always go all in, all out, or you could, instead of the 90%, you could like take one at the level, and then one for a little more or something.
Yeah, that's that was my suggestion when we had 5 on. I was gonna say just cover 4, leave 1 on down here.
Either way, I was counting well in the money on this trade.
Yeah.
Got a Lulo's print to 63.39. Gold did make new all-time high.
Fuck!
62. Pulled back about $7 right now.
Right.
38.55.
All right, so we were short 5.
Yes.
We took 3 at 63.42.
Okay.
We're still short 2.
Oh, that's nice trading all around. Jack, I'm watching the ES right now, 62.20. I cannot make much sense of the charts right now.
Be in the money a little bit right now, but it's kind of a longer term play. I mean, I want to see it fill that gap, and I would be a buyer there for sure. Down around a little below 6,700.
Settlement. NASDAQ broke through that level there, Jaren, as well. So I like a play back down to those 880s, 890s in the NASDAQ.
We're on the same page.
Fucking piece of faggot fucking shit, dude.
Carving it up here.
Right.
Yep, there it is.
ES. Moving this way lower. Dow grinding lower as well. NASDAQ lagging to the downside. Leon in the chat. NASDAQ cannot hold 24,900. Oh, we're trading 905s right now. Leon, let's go see if we can test it because the ES might be closing on 15s. We got European close, London close. 18 minutes.
God fucking damn it, dude. Why are you such a fucking piece of shit, faggot, fucking
Just gotta
loser?
run around for fun.
Swear to Christ, dude.
4:15.
Well done.
I felt like government shutdowns used to be a bigger deal in the markets. no one's really talking
We're
about
used
that.
to it now, Jack.
Yeah.
This is
Everybody's looking forward to it.
I know.
We're just waiting for the dip.
Yeah. New session lows in ES 67.15, and the orders we got there